Imagine you've just sent your first proper invoice for your side hustle. Maybe freelance design, virtual assistant work, weekend gigs, selling online, and there's a quiet little worry in the back of your mind. Do I actually need an ABN for this? If you're not sure, that's completely normal. Nobody sits you down and explains it. But here's what you need to know. If your side hustle is really a business and you invoice a client without quoting an ABN, that client can legally hold back 47% of what they owe you. Today, I'm going to walk you through exactly how to get this right so none of your pay ends up in limbo. Here's the number that reframes this whole thing. 47%, that's the ATO's no ABN withholding rate. When a business pays you and you haven't quoted a valid ABN on your invoice, they're allowed to hold back nearly half of it before it ever reaches you. Picture sending a $1,000 invoice and getting $530 back. You do eventually claim it at tax time, but in the meantime, your cash flow is gutted. So this isn't just paperwork for you, it's real money sitting in limbo. And the good news is, avoiding it is genuinely simple once you know the steps. Step 1, work out whether what you're doing is actually a business in the ATO's eyes or just a hobby. This is the part most people get wrong, and it's not their fault. They assume the label they use matters. It doesn't. The ATO and the Australian Business Register look at the facts of how you run it. Are you doing it to make a profit? Is it repeated and regular, not a one-off? Is it organized, with records and invoices, run like an actual business? If you tick those boxes, you're carrying on an enterprise, even if it's small, even if it's part-time, even if you still have a day job. Get this decision right and everything else falls into place. Step 2. Don't guess at this, check the actual source. Head to the Australian Business Register, that's the ABR, and find the ABN entitlement page. It lists the business indicators in plain terms: profit intention, repetition, the scale of what you're doing, how organized you are, whether you keep records, and whether it looks similar to other businesses doing the same thing. Run your own side hustle against each one honestly. By the end, you'll know whether you're carrying on an enterprise or genuinely just dabbling in a hobby. But here's the part most people miss: that decision changes everything about what you do next, so it's worth 10 minutes to get it right. Step 3. If you've decided you're running an enterprise, apply for your ABN. The ABR says entitlement comes down to carrying on or starting an enterprise in Australia, so if that's you, you qualify. Now, I want to be upfront with you here. If you're genuinely just a hobbyist, you don't need one. And grabbing an ABN you don't qualify for can actually create obligations you don't want. So only take this step if the entitlement test says yes. If it does, go through the Australian Business Register application. It's free, and choose the pathway for your entity type. For most side hustlers, that's sole trader. Enter your details and a clear description of what you do, and then keep that ABN handy for every invoice. Now there's a second number you'll want on your radar. $75,000, that's the GST registration threshold, and this is where a lot of people get confused. An ABN and GST are not the same thing. You can have an ABN and not be registered for GST at all. But the moment your turnover hits $75,000 in a financial year, the ATO says you must register for GST, and you've got just 21 days to do it after crossing that line. Most people don't realize the clock is that tight, so let me show you how to stay ahead of it. Step 4. Keep an eye on your turnover. Add up your sales as the financial year goes along and watch that number against the $75,000 threshold. If you stay under it, GST registration generally isn't required and your life stays simpler, but if you cross it, the ATO gives you 21 days to register. Here's why that matters to you personally. Miss the window, and you can end up having charge prices without GST, then having to find that money out of your own pocket to catch up. Tracking it as you go. Even a simple spreadsheet updated monthly is far cheaper and far less stressful than scrambling later. Step 5, and this is the habit that pays for itself. With your ABN registered, quoted on every single invoice you send to a business. Quoted ABN, you get paid normally, the full amount. No ABN, the payer can withhold 47% before it reaches you. It really is that binary, so make it automatic. Put your ABN straight into your invoice template, double check it's valid, and keep copies for your records. One small line of text on a document is the difference between getting your full pay and watching nearly half of it disappear. Now let me show you the 2 mistakes I see trip people up most often. The first and biggest mistake: assuming that because it's a side hustle, it must be a hobby, so you don't need an ABN. The ATO simply doesn't see it that way. The real test is whether you're carrying on an enterprise. If what you do is repeated, organized, and profit-driven, you're generally entitled to an ABN even if it's tiny or part-time. And if this is you, don't feel caught out. It's one of the most common misunderstandings out there. But people who cling to the hobby label end up invoicing without an ABN, and that's exactly when the 47% withholding bites into their cash flow. The second mistake: ignoring the $75,000 GST line as your hustle grows. And honestly, this one's easy to do. You're busy, business is good, and suddenly you've sailed past the threshold without noticing. But the ATO requires you to register within 21 days of crossing it. If you keep operating without registering, you can end up owing GST you never actually collected from your customers. And now it has to come out of your own pocket, plus the hassle of correcting everything late. Watch that number as you go and you sidestep the whole mess before it ever starts. Let's run it back fast so it sticks. Step 1. Decide whether you're running a business or a hobby based on the facts, not the label. Step 2. Read the ABN entitlement test on the Australian Business Register. Step 3. If you're an enterprise, apply for your ABN and remember it's free. Step 4. Track your turnover against the $75,000 GST threshold and register within 21 days if you cross it. And Step 5. Quote that ABN on every business invoice so you never lose 47% to withholding. That's the whole rule, and you now know it better than most people running a side hustle right now. If you've made it this far, you now know something most side hustlers don't, and you can act on it today. Take 5 minutes, run yourself through the ABN entitlement test, and if you qualify, apply before your next invoice goes out. That single move protects your cash flow from day one. And once your ABN is sorted, the next thing worth your time is the sole trader tax deductions you're probably missing, because that's where the real savings start, and it's exactly what we cover next. I'm Sophie. I'll see you there.